In the heart of the two-wheeled revolution, a beast stirred, the Kawasaki H1 Mach III, a machine not just built, but rather that was unleashed in 1969, and when it was, it redefined the very essence of motorcycle performance. Dubbed the Widowmaker, this icon of speed and power carved its legacy with a potent 500cc two-stroke three-cylinder engine. Its raw acceleration challenged the brave and rewarded the reckless. And beyond its engine prowess, the Mach III captured the spirit of an era, an age of rebellion, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. And it also became the quickest road-going bike of the day. And this is its story. As the 1960s roared, so did the motorcycle market, bustling with innovation and intense competition. The world witnessed an insatiable appetite for speed and power, and a desire that transcended mere transportation. In this era of mechanical renaissance, the stage was set for companies to throw their hats in the ring with their most exciting bikes yet. Amidst this, Kawasaki eyed a bold entry into the high-performance market that would ultimately end up setting them up in a league of their own. Now, Kawasaki had just built their first ever production motorcycle in 1962 with a mere 8 horsepower. So the gap between their first attempt and this new bike would be monumental. They envisioned a machine that would not only compete, but redefine the boundaries of what a motorcycle could be and could offer such raw power that no other manufacturer could, forcing them to all go back to the drawing board. At the time, Honda had just released the CB450, and other Japanese manufacturers were right on their tail, releasing their own latest and greatest road-going bikes. Kawasaki felt that the only place that they could compete was on the intersection of pricing and speed. They were going to build the best value per dollar bike the market had ever seen, as a way to convince prospective buyers to choose them over the competition. Enter the Kawasaki H1 Mach III. At its heart lay a groundbreaking 500cc two-stroke triple engine, which was a powerhouse that delivered unprecedented acceleration. It was a bold contrast to the more of the four-stroke style engines that had become a mainstay in the market, thus piquing the interest of many based on its two-stroke engine alone. This three-cylinder two-stroke that lived inside the H1 featured a 60mm bore as well as a 58.8mm stroke, which was perfect for the rev-happy engine, which ran at a 6.8:1 compression ratio. Adorned with 3 Mikuni VM28SC carburetors to help it breathe, the H1 Mach III would make peak power of 60 horsepower at 7,500 RPM, with peak torque coming in at 42 foot-pounds at 7,000. You have to put this into context against some of the competition at the time. The Honda CB450, for example, which was by no means a slow bike, only made 45 horsepower and 27 foot-pounds of torque, which meant that you got 33% more power with the Kawasaki, which was an insane difference. On the performance spec side, the H1 Mach III shattered all preconceived notions of what was possible from a road bike, with it ever so able to slightly touch the 13-second quarter-mile time, with all-time bests in the 12s. 0 to 60 would happen in a rapid 4.7 seconds, which was still a full second faster than the Honda CB450. The H1 Mach III was a wicked fast bike for the day, and in fact, it was the choice that anyone who was looking to do any straight-line racing would have chosen. Ripping through that 5-speed transmission, the H1 was a rocket ship, especially at just over 380 pounds dry. But as the press and everyone in the world would soon find out, the H1 wasn't necessarily the world's best bike. See, in pursuit of great pricing and wicked speed, compromises were made with the H1, specifically when it came to the handling and braking system. The early models only came with drum brakes, which, well, weren't very great for spirited driving and would start to fade pretty quickly. The suspension and frame of the H1 also wasn't really up to par with the power plant either. Now again, it wasn't terrible by any means, but the handling of the H1 left a lot to be desired, and it certainly was not up to the speed, which is in part why the bike received the nickname the Widowmaker. It was insanely fast, but it could be difficult to control and difficult to stop, which isn't necessarily something that you wanted. Especially with its rear weight bias, the H1 was also a bit of a wheelie machine, but boy was it fast. You have to remember, this was 1969. This was at the peak of the glory days of the first muscle car era. The baddest muscle cars ever were roaming the streets with more power than ever. And then this new H1 came along for just $999 and could beat pretty much anything that rolled off the showroom floor, from Camaros to even certain Corvettes. If you wanted speed per dollar, there was literally no better option to be had anywhere at the time other than the Kawasaki H1, which was exactly their plan. The H1 was to be Kawasaki's shock and awe model, to truly put them on the map and separate them from the competition in the budding American market. The H1 itself enjoyed a long production run from 1969 all the way up to 76, with minor updates along the way, like the eventual introduction of a front disc brake in 1972. Kawasaki then released the H2 Mach IV version in 1972 as well, for those who wanted a 750cc version of that triple, which made an ungodly 75 horsepower, which if you want to see a separate video on that, comment down below. But overall, the Widowmaker itself remained the Widowmaker its entire run. It unfortunately became a casualty of tightening EPA restrictions on motorcycles, which really made a much more aggressive push for four-stroke bikes rather than the more rambunctious and less economically friendly two-stroke ones, like the H1, which is a shame because there is something undeniably special about the H1. But that concludes the short story of the infamous Kawasaki H1 Mach III Widowmaker. If you enjoyed this video, we would greatly appreciate it if you could drop a like and also share this video with other enthusiasts. Also, please make sure that you are subscribed to the Rare Motorcycles YouTube channel and smash that notification bell for more documentary style videos just like this on the world's most interesting motorcycles. Until next time, enthusiasts.